He was 19 years old. He had just regained his freedom. Yet in the early hours of October 3rd, 2025, his life ended in a London hospital. That young man was Marcus Fakana from Tottenham, North London. His ordeal spanned continents, legal systems, love, confinement, hope, and tragedy. This is his story: how a holiday romance spiraled into a year behind bars in Dubai, how a royal pardon freed him, and how, only months later, death claimed him in his home city. In telling this story, we will lean closely on documented facts, walk through what is known, and gently imagine the inner life that remains hidden. But at every turn, the human cost is clear. Lost time, shattered dreams, and a young life ended too soon. Marcus Fakana was born around 2006. He died aged 19 in 2025. He grew up in Tottenham in North London, a place of community, ambition, and sometimes hardship. Though public sources don't reveal much of his childhood, some reports identify him later as an apprentice builder. This is drawn from press coverage. In late August 2024, Marcus traveled with his parents to Dubai for a holiday. It was on that trip, in a luxury hotel environment away from daily life, that a romance bloomed. He met a young woman, also from London, staying with her family in the same hotel. She was, at that time, 17 years old, reportedly just a month short of turning 18. The relationship, by most accounts, was consensual. They exchanged messages and spent time together discreetly. But the gulf between UK and UAE law loomed large. In the UK, the age of consent is 16. But in the United Arab Emirates, especially in Dubai, sex outside marriage is illegal, and sexual relations involving someone under 18 can be prosecuted, even when the parties believe their conduct is consensual. After returning to the UK, the girl's mother allegedly found the messages and photos exchanged between the two and reported them to UAE authorities. It was a moment of shock for Marcus. He later said he and the girl had kept their romance secret because her family were strict and that they had hoped to continue seeing each other in the UK. He said, "I never intended to break the law. It didn't occur to me at the time. Let me go home." Then came the arrest. Marcus was taken into custody in Dubai, reportedly from his hotel. The Guardian. From that moment, his life would be transformed by legal systems, politics, and the stark difference of being a foreign detainee in a Gulf country. Marcus was prosecuted under UAE law, and in December 2024, he was sentenced to 1 year in prison in a maximum security facility. He was 18 at the time the relationship took place, though in UK terms that would have made it legal. Under UAE law, because the girl was under 18, the sexual relationship was criminalized. That legal reality collided violently with Marcus's expectation of fairness under UK norms. From that moment, Marcus entered a world far removed from his life in London. Confinement, uncertainty, shifting legal counsel, translation, restrictions, and isolation. While I do not have full public records of the daily conditions he faced, we know this. He spent the majority of 2025 in a Dubai prison before his pardon. Advocacy group detained in Dubai later said his imprisonment no doubt caused him long-lasting mental anguish. Inside a foreign prison, a detainee must adapt. Restricted phone access, limited family contact, legal hurdles, cultural dissonance, possible language barriers, and uncertainty about appeal or pardon. Marcus's appeals and pleas became a lifeline. He and his legal team appealed to authorities, asked for clemency, and sought to illuminate the injustice. Back in the UK, supporters rallied. In January 2025, protesters marched through London demanding his release, chanting, Bring Marcus home. Detained in Dubai, led by Rada Sterling, mounted campaigns, media advocacy, diplomatic pressure, and legal appeals. One of Marcus's prayers, shared publicly via advocates, was directed to the ruler of Dubai. Please forgive me, pardon me, let me go home. During those months, his family waited, uncertain. Each passing day was time lost. Lost education, lost youth, lost opportunities. This period is the psychological crucible of the story. A young man weighed down by legal systems that did not reflect his home norms, trying to keep faith, fighting to survive until mercy arrives. In July 2025, a turning point came. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, ruler of Dubai, granted Marcus a royal pardon, ending his imprisonment prematurely. That pardon allowed Marcus to return to the United Kingdom, to his family, his city, and a chance to reclaim what had been stolen. Campaigners celebrated, but their voices were tinged with sorrow. As Rada Sterling put it, "It's sad that of all of 2025, he was only free for the 3 months from the 3rd of July until the 3rd of October." Imagine the moment Marcus stepped off the plane, home soil beneath his feet, eyes scanning familiar streets, taking in family embraces, media flashbulbs, the weight, lighter perhaps, but still heavy, of what he'd been through. In those months between July and October, Marcus tried to rebuild. He returned to Tottenham, to his network of family and friends, to normal life after an abnormal sojourn. But freedom came with scars, psychological, emotional, reputational. He had endured months of detention, stigma, and international attention. Media outlets followed him. Some offered empathy, others scrutiny. His case remained in public memory as a cautionary tale about legal collisions across jurisdictions. Yet for Marcus, this period should have been his time to live, to recover, reconnect, dream, and to put his ordeal behind him. He had earned those months of freedom. The night of October 3rd, 2025 began unremarkably, but ended in tragedy. Around 12:52 a.m., Metropolitan Police officers on patrol attempted to stop a vehicle of interest on Pretoria Road in Tottenham, North London. They pursued the vehicle for about 60 seconds, but the car slipped from view. The chase continued. Shortly thereafter, on the roundway, the pursued vehicle was found to have been in a collision with another car. Marcus was a passenger in that vehicle. He sustained significant injuries. Officers at the scene rendered first aid. Paramedics and air ambulance arrived. He was transported to hospital, but despite efforts, he died a short time later. The driver, Marwan Mohammed Hussein, aged 19 and also from Tottenham, was arrested near the scene. He was charged with multiple offenses, causing death by dangerous driving, driving without insurance, driving without a license, and failing to stop. The case was set to appear in Highbury Corner Magistrates Court. The Metropolitan Police's Directorate of Professional Standards and the Independent Office for Police Conduct, IOPC, were informed of the incident. In narrative form, the moment might be drawn out. The whine of police sirens, lights flashing through London's quiet streets, the jolt of collision, the desperate efforts of first responders, the frantic moments in hospital. Time slows. One can imagine Marcus's last thoughts, the fading of hope, the shock and panic. Tragically, after all he'd endured, he did not survive. In those final hours, the story that had spanned continents ended in his home city. The young man who had just regained freedom would not live to fully reclaim it. News of Marcus's death spread quickly. Campaigners and advocates voiced sorrow, anguish, and regret. Rada Sterling said she was heartbroken, noting that Marcus had lost months to imprisonment he could never get back. Tributes poured in on social media. Some wrote, "I fought for you to be released. This is how it ended." Others simply mourned, "Too young to die." In the public debate, many returned to the Dubai case, how and why a consensual relationship legal in the UK led to a foreign prison sentence, how young lives can be caught between conflicting legal systems, how time lost is irretrievable. Some called Marcus's death a tragic aftershock, that even if he had been freed, that freedom was too short. His case is now a lens through which we can examine legal inequality, diplomatic responsibility, youth rights, and the fragility of life. But many questions remain unanswered. What supports did Marcus receive upon return? How deeply did his mental and emotional state suffer from detention? What plans or dreams had he begun to rebuild, and what were left unfulfilled? Did he ever feel fully safe again? And, of course, why that night? What led to the vehicle chase? What other factors, speed, road conditions, driver actions, contributed? In the end, this is not just a legal or political story. It is a human tragedy. A young man lost years of his life, fought for a chance to live freely, and then lost life itself. The collision of laws, of jurisdictions, of fate, all had their say. Marcus Fakana was more than a headline. He was a son, a young man, a person whose life was interrupted by forces beyond his control. His story ripples outward, through the laws that govern consent, the rights of citizens abroad, the power of advocacy, and the heartbreak of loss. We remember that he was imprisoned for a relationship considered lawful in his home jurisdiction, but criminal in another. He spent months behind bars, fighting for a pardon. He was freed, only to live 3 short months of regained freedom. He died, not by legal verdict or injustice, but by accident in his own city. Let Marcus's name serve as a caution and a call, that laws must respect young lives, that diplomacy must protect citizens, that advocacy can make a difference, but also that freedom, once regained, must not be taken for granted. In the end, no pardon can return lost months. No court can undo a life ended too soon. May we remember Marcus not for how he died, but for the dreams he held, the silence he endured, the fight he waged, and the life he might have lived. Let's have a discussion in the comments section and tell me what you guys think about these questions. 1. Was Marcus Fakana a victim of cultural misunderstanding and legal overreach, or did a series of avoidable mistakes and societal failures ultimately lead to his tragic end? And what does his story reveal about how justice and rehabilitation are handled across borders? 2. Do you believe Marcus Fakana's imprisonment in Dubai was a fair application of local law or an example of injustice faced by foreigners unfamiliar with cultural boundaries? 3. Did Marcus's tragic death reveal deeper failures in how young people are supported after trauma? Or was it simply a tragic coincidence after his release? 4. Should international laws be adjusted to better protect young travelers who unknowingly break local rules? Or is it their responsibility to fully understand the culture they enter? 5. Who should be held accountable for what happened to Marcus Fakana? The Dubai legal system, the British authorities, or the lack of mental health support after his return? 6. Marcus Fakana's story shocked both the UK and the world. What lessons should society learn from his experience? And how can we prevent another young life from ending the same way?